Hello and welcome to LEGO Harry Potter Years 1 through 4. In this video we are going to do kind of the basic route and movement for the level 3-2. We're going to start off obviously from the lesson before, which was just completed, which is Buckbeak handling. And if you don't, or if you do the CSS, whether you do it or do not, but you do it outside of any percent, you will always spawn here. You'll always spawn in this place. If you have done 2-6 CSS, you're doing any percent or all Hogwarts students in peril. You'll spawn somewhere different and we'll point that out as we go past it. But otherwise you're going to have spawned here. Normally you'll spawn with Harry and Ron like this. So Harry player 1, Ron player 2. If you haven't done the cutscene skip, you'll probably spawn like this with Hermione player 1, Harry player 2. But yeah, either way is fine. What you've got to do from here is you've obviously got to move over to 3-2. And your player 1 will always spawn in front. So we'll go with player 1 over to the next room. And then in the next room we are going to do a bridge jump again. This is the second time we have to do it in the run. The first time is all the way back after we've completed 1-3. But this one's a little bit harder. This lamp is in the way. So what we have to do is when lifting the bridge with player 2, or whichever player you want, you have to position them kind of in front in this small area here, because otherwise they'll just use magic on the lamp instead. But the same thing happens as last time. We're going to lift the bridge up to about here, and then kind of mash it so that the bridge kind of stays this kind of half up state. And we can jump across and then the bridge will go back down. So we'll do that now. And there we go, we're able to get across. And Harry can go through the door here. Next room we can move Harry as well, although it's not too much slower to move player 2, it's about the same. Now this room we have a split in routes here, because basically if I go through this door right now, it is a cutscene. And it's a cutscene that spawns, it's like an overworld mid-tro, which you must hit before entering 3-2. But you can actually go around it and skip the cutscene by going into the room, like the room which loads after you enter this door, but from a different way in. So we're actually going to go round and go in a different way if you're in a category which doesn't skip cutscenes. So if you're in a standard category, then you'll do this. If you're in a no-cut category, it's always quicker to go through this door and skip the cutscene. But what we're going to do is instead, in a standard category, we will Lumos jump over this troll on this side and hit the transition for the next room. What we want, kind of at the same time in the outer courtyard, we want Hermione to be on player 2. And we want Hermione on the pet spell, because in this next room, it's quicker to do a pet warp, because we're going to go over to near where divination was. It's also worth noting that this part here is where it converges with the any percent route. So if you've done 2-6 CSS and nothing else, you will spawn here, which tends to happen in any percent no cut. If you do 2-6 CSS, but also do the potions room manipulation, which is any percent standards route, then you'll go into this room here. Or, sorry, if you spawn in no cut, from that kind of outer part by the troll, then you've got to go in here and back out again before you can then move into the next room, which is where Crookshanks is standing now. If you did the potions room manipulation, which is normally in any percent standard, then you'll already spawn in the potions room and you have to leave it and then make your way over to here. And once you've done that, you go through the door with Crookshanks, player 2 movement to this room. And this is the room where the cutscene spawns. You'll notice our character roster changes. So we now have Fred and George on player 2, rather than who we originally had, which was Hermione and Ron. So we go through this way now. And this is also where you'll spawn if you just went through the previous door to watch the cutscene straight up and skip it. You spawn here and then you just leave the room. So that's nice and easy. And then you'll make your way over this way with player 1. This room, you can kind of get both players 2 and the AI character tend to get pushed around a bit. Sometimes they'll get pushed all the way over there. Sometimes they'll get pushed like ours did all the way back here, which is a bit slower. So you kind of have to react to which character is closer to the door. In this case, it tends to be P1, and P1 will just go down here. Player 1 will then make their way up the stairs, can Lumos jump to skip this corner if you're feeling confident, and then go through this door. And now we're in the level itself. And in the level itself, this first room, entirely player 1. We don't use player 2 at all. I keep player 2 dropped in through this because it saves a dropout and we need him for the next couple of rooms. But you don't have to, you can drop player 2 out if you want, that's up to you. First things first, starting from here, activate Lumos kind of quite early around here, and you want to jump through each of these vines to avoid that kind of animation there. So if you jump, you see you're able to skip the animation of igniting the vines. That's kind of a common tech across most of this game. Now use the mobilist to build this platform, and we want to position this platform towards the right side of this block here. This one's not crucial, as long as it's clipped onto this block, then it's absolutely fine. And you want to edge jump, if I can successfully edge jump. You want to edge jump off the edge here and make it to the middle. Same thing on this one, though this one is a bit tighter. You kind of have to put your piece here or kind of in the middle bit. If you put it all the way over on the left, then you're not going to be able to make the next jump with an edge jump. And you're going to have to use a precise Lumos jump to be able to back it up. So if you can get this, this is always good. And then you can jump over to this side. We can, if you want, you can put the weight on the bridge, but I'm going to show there's a way to skip it instead. If you jump onto this kind of, well, bridge rail almost up here, and you kind of work your way towards the nearest edge of it, then what you can do is hold right and edge jump again. You can buffer the edge jump and you'll be able to make it around the bridge. Like so, and you can kind of jump over that precise bit. That looks like it's a very kind of scary precise trick. But actually, the only thing you need to worry about if you do the setup right is timing your edge jump. Because it is literally, it's D-pad right or right on the keyboard to be able to make it. Other than that, just make sure you're on the edge jump, and you're over. It's quite a nice standardized setup for it. Then use the torch to break that Lumos plant, reveal this platform, could do another edge jump to get over here. And then one last trick for the run. You have to do this if you're doing this room Harry only. I think otherwise you can use Ridiculous or something on this to be able to get rid of the Bogart which spawns, and then by doing that you can kind of complete this area casually. But instead what you can do is do a Lumos jump kind of around this corner. What I tend to do is start about here, walk down, and then Lumos jump and turn around. It's not the easiest Lumos jump in the world. It likes a lot to kind of drop as you're doing it. So make sure you give yourself plenty of space from the edge to do the Lumos jump. You see I'm kind of jumping from kind of the other end of the first floor tile. I'm not waiting till I'm, say, all the way over here before then trying to Lumos jump, although that one did work. But you just got to wrap around up to here, and then you can just jump up the ladder, and you're out of the lesson. And then this room, very simple. Put the box on the thing. Nice and easy. Okay, now we're going to explain one of the more precise transfig jumps in the game. What we're going to do is we're going to target Harry with Transfiguration. You have to X-aim Transfiguration in this. You can't just press B and shoot because it doesn't work. Also, I did not mean to spawn this. I accidentally hit that. I didn't realize the targeting was going to go round, but that is one of the 3 collectibles we need for the crest. But obviously we don't get the crest. But yeah, we have to X-aim here. And then with the frog, we want to position Harry kind of on this round area. kind of like halfway between it, so we're in between the two signs that are hanging. And then Harry will be able to transfig jump up here. And this movement is quite precise. So you see Harry's no longer jumping. That's because he's cleared the height of the invisible wall. And what we want to do basically is we want to make sure we're always on the left side of the wall, but we need a couple of jumps kind of inside the wall itself to be able to get past the snowman, which is at the end and at the other side. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to hold, or kind of hold a little bit on left. Hopefully I'll get a first jump off the wall. We'll see. Okay, I didn't. In fact, I fell in bounds. It does happen. It's difficult to time when pausing it. But we now have this, which appears. This camera pan is what you do to complete the section casually. Just as a backup if you don't want to do this, because it is quite precise. You use this torch to break all this ice, and then that becomes a buildable thing to get rid of the snowman. I'm going to show the transfig jump again though. So we'll try it again. Again, lining Harry up here, and you kind of want to walk this edge that spawns here. So the first thing I'm going to do is kind of an up and a left input. And then I kind of start snaking back until I catch a jump and do that a couple of times, and then we can make it over and past the snowman. It takes a lot of feel to be able to get this, but it saves about 20 seconds, I think, if you do it optimally. And then we go through here and into the next room. This room is another transfig jump. You see you can do the targeting quite early there. Also, thankfully, this transfig jump is a lot more simple. So you just get Ron in position kind of by this fence post here. As long as Ron's somewhere near this fence post, you should be good. And then you can jump 4 times and you should be able to get over. I didn't press up quickly enough, that's on me. We do it again. What you can also do is stand near Malfoy so that the frog doesn't get hit by any shots, which is always good. Okay, the game's not liking me at the moment. But we'll line Ron up about here. And then can jump to be able to get over this wall here. And then just fall down and hit the trigger. This room is 1P2C. I'll explain in 1P2C. We could start off with the first part, very easy. From where player 2 spawns, immediately can hold B to put this broomstick on. Player 1 comes down here and puts this cage on. This spawns a camera pan, and you also notice both players warp, which is very useful. Player 2 then has to shoot these 3 trees, 1, 2, 3, spawn this broomstick, and then put the broomstick on. Player 1 has to jump onto this broomstick, fly it up to the snowball, and then put this on. There will then be a short camera pan, and then that will be the level. So there's a lot to kind of break down in this level, that's why it's one of the more complex ones. But I will go over it again, and I'll show what it looks like if you're doing it more quickly. Okay, so doing this level again, but quicker this time, I'm going to show the no-cut version, because we're going to go all the way over here with player 1 and player 2. We'll get player 2 on Hermione when we can, but not for the moment. We've got to do this bridge jump here, so position player 2 in front of the lamp, and then get player 1 to jump over, just like that. We can switch to player 2 in this room. Actually, if we're doing the no-cut version, we don't need the player 2 switch. That was a bit of a muscle memory, I guess, taken over. But instead, we could just go straight through to here. And into the cutscene, skip the cutscene, immediately leave the room. And then we'll make our way over this way. We can move player 2 this time as player 2 spawn closer. And then player 1 we must jump over just to cut this corner a bit. Like so. And then we can go through the door to start the level. In the level itself, Lumos to try and interrupt these. And then immediately shoot Immobilis to be able to bring those pixies down. I'll show the backup Lumos jump on this one. Say you do spawn it on this side. You can Lumos jump like that to get over, but you can't make it with a regular jump. And then this setup to get over the bridge, that's just simple D-pad right once you're in the right position. And then again, line up with this wall and Lumos jump around the corner to get through the room. And then through here, immediately target player 1 with Transfig. I kind of got the second earliest cycle. You can get a super early cycle on Transfiguration there, but it's really not worth going for in full any percent runs, so I don't normally go for it. Transfig jump up here. Once the kind of jumping stops, I'm kind of again going up left and then up right to make sure that I'm staying on the wall. We got the Transfig shot off on run. Position run against this fence post. Did get hit by the snowball, which is a bit annoying because the debris can sometimes get in the way of where you need to be. But we were fine, so we can leave the room, immediately use magic with Ron, and then put the bird in place with Harry. And then this room, target the 3 trees with Ron. Unfortunately, the 3rd tree wasn't feeling like being targeted, so sometimes you have to jump down. That's fine. And then you can just put the other 2 broomsticks on the snowball. And then, very simply, you can just leave the room. And that is the level. So it's a very complex level. There's a lot of kind of moving parts to it, a lot of tough tricks to it. But overall, with practice, it does get easier, but it is one of the ones you need to practice more. Thank you very much for watching though, and I will see you in the next video.